The ocean has always been a battlefield. Empires have risen and fallen on its waves. From wooden warships to nuclear submarines, the tools have changed, but the core logic of naval combat endures. The same principles that guided captains in the age of sail, concentration of force, maneuver, stealth and surprise, still drive submarine commanders today. Tactics from the great battles of the past didn't vanish. They evolved, becoming deadlier beneath the waves. Whether it's a fleet at Trafalgar or a wolf pack in the Atlantic, the goal remains: find the enemy, strike decisively, and survive the counterattack. The concentration of force is the golden thread connecting centuries of naval warfare. Submarine warfare isn't a new story, but a new chapter. Technology changes, but the mind of the warrior does not. The challenge is always the same: locate the enemy in a vast sea, attack unseen, and control the ocean. From the creak of oak to the ping of sonar, the objective never changes. The rules of the sea were written long before the first submarines slipped beneath the waves. In the 18th century, naval power meant the line of battle, a disciplined, rigid formation of warships. Dozens of ships, each bristling with cannons, sailed in single file to create a wall of fire. Each captain's job hold position: protect the line and unleash broadsides at the enemy. The line's strength was its unity, forming a near impenetrable zone of destruction. Breaking the enemy's line was the ultimate goal, allowing your fleet to attack from multiple angles, a tactic called doubling. But the line was also vulnerable at its ends. Crossing the T let a ship fire its full broadside at an enemy's exposed bow or stern. Wind and weather could tip the balance, turning the battle into a slow, deliberate chess match. Maintaining formation while seeking to shatter the enemies was the admiral's art. The line of battle taught a lesson that endures: use coordinated force to overwhelm a specific point. This principle would echo through centuries of naval warfare. The logic of the line would soon resurface in a new, more lethal form. By the 20th century, the Atlantic was a battlefield once more, this time stalked by German U-boats. Early on, lone submarines hunted convoys, but they were vulnerable and often outmatched. Admiral Karl Dönitz changed the game, reviving the logic of the line of battle for a new era. His solution: the wolf pack. Instead of hunting alone, U-boats coordinated, converging on a single convoy. One sub would spot the target and radio its position. Others would close in, forming a loose line to intercept. At night, they'd attack from multiple directions, overwhelming the convoy's defenses. The wolf pack wasn't rigid like old fleets. It was fluid, designed for the three-dimensional ocean. The goal: create chaos, saturate defenses, and destroy the enemy with concentrated force. This was the line of battle reborn: multiple attackers, one vulnerable target. The principle was unchanged: gather strength, strike hard, and never fight on equal terms. The Wolfpack turned submarines into a coordinated, relentless threat. At the heart of both the line of battle and the Wolfpack lies one principal: concentration of force. Victory comes from focusing overwhelming power on a single, decisive point. At Trafalgar, Nelson broke convention. He split his fleet and smashed through the enemy's center, isolating and destroying part of their line. He risked everything to achieve local superiority, fighting a third of the enemy with all his strength. This hammer blow shattered the enemy's will and changed the course of history. The same logic powered Cold War submarine tactics. Soviet doctrine called for groups of submarines to hunt American carrier groups, launching saturation attacks from multiple directions. The aim: overwhelm defenses with a coordinated barrage, just as Nelson did with cannon and sail. Whether with broadsides or torpedoes, the art is the same. Focus your attack, break the enemy, and win the sea. Technology evolves, but the principle of decisive concentration endures. The hammer blow, delivered at the right place and time, remains the key to victory. The lesson: don't fight the whole enemy, crush a part, and the rest will fall. This is the timeless secret of naval warfare. Every formation has a weakness, a blind spot waiting to be exploited. In the age of sail, the bow and stern were vulnerable. A clever captain would maneuver to rake an enemy from these angles. Fleets, too, had exposed ends. At the Battle of the Nile, Nelson attacked from both sides, destroying the French before they could react. Modern submarine commanders use the same logic. Carrier groups are shielded by destroyers and cruisers, but their defenses have gaps. Submarines exploit ocean features, thermal layers, canyons, noise to slip through undetected. Their goal: get into the baffles, the blind spot behind a ship, and launch a devastating attack. This is the modern crossing the T, striking from where the enemy can't see or respond. Cold War subs played a deadly game of cat and mouse, each trying to slip into the other's blind spot. The technology changed. Sonar for spyglasses, torpedoes for cannons. But the objective was the same. Find the seam, slip through, and strike from overwhelming advantage. The art of exploiting blind spots is as old as naval warfare itself. Naval war is as much about deception as firepower. In the age of sail, ships flew false flags and enforced silence to get close before striking. Fleets used scouts to mask their true strength, and admirals signaled feints to mislead the enemy. Surprise was everything. Appear from nowhere, unleash a broadside, and vanish. For submarines, stealth is survival. Modern subs are coated in sound-absorbing tiles and move in near-total silence, becoming ghosts in the ocean. They use the sea itself, thermal layers, noisy biologics, to hide from sonar. Radio silence is absolute. Communication risks exposure, whether muffled oars or ultra-quiet engines. The goal is the same: strike unseen, then disappear. The ocean rewards those who master silence and deception. Across centuries, the logic of naval warfare remains unchanged. Ships and submarines may look different, but the principles, concentration, maneuver, deception, are eternal. The sea's vastness and danger demand discipline and cunning from all who fight upon it. The line of battle became the wolf pack. Nelson's tactics live on in modern submarine doctrine. The coordinated attack, the search for blind spots, and the pursuit of surprise are timeless. As technology advances, the ancient rules endure. Future commanders will still seek the enemy's weakness and protect their own. The Warpath may be new, but the rules were written long ago. On the ocean, the past is never far beneath the surface.